I want to thank the music team and Tom for reading today. Today we're continuing with our Giving Thanks theme for November, and our topic for today is a grateful heart. It's Thanksgiving week, and we each experience that day in a different way. And what I'd like to ask you is, do you feel a grateful heart? Today, members of our community are going to help me to show you how to experience that grateful heart. And the question for the week is this: what is the one choice that you can make today to feel gratitude for all that occurs in your life? What is the one choice that you can make today to feel gratitude for all that occurs in your life? In the reading today, you heard Tom read these words of Ernest Holmes from The Science of Mind. We are to rejoice evermore. There is no sadness in the spirit. It is happy and free, for it knows neither depression nor confusion, and we belong to it, are in and of it. We belong to spirit, are in and of spirit. We feel happy and free when we rejoice in knowing that fact, and when we turn our thoughts to all in our lives for which we can be grateful. Today, rather than me giving a long message, I thought I would have people in our community demonstrate their grateful hearts by sharing stories of gratitude with you. As you listen to the stories, feel the gratitude that you've experienced in your life. I hope you enjoy them as much as I did.
I'm Larrye-Marie Heyl. I have been blessed with 8 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren, and I'm very grateful for all of them. And the story I wanted to tell is about 5 years ago. My youngest great-grandchild, named Cassius, was a toddler at the time, and it was a Thursday, and he was running around the house at his mom's, and all of a sudden he just dropped to the ground unconscious, totally limp. And she called 911, and he was taken to Cleveland Clinic because that's where they live, in Cleveland. And there just happened to be a pediatric neurologist on duty that night who was training 4 other doctors to be pediatric neurologists. And Cassius was diagnosed with bacterial meningitis. And he was in a deep, deep coma. And those 5 doctors worked on Cassius from Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday. And we were in prayer, nonstop prayer. Everybody I could reach that I knew, I was asking them to pray. And we prayed without ceasing. And Cassius stayed in his coma Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And the doctor actually told us there was nothing he could do, and that Cassius probably wasn't going to make it. And we didn't give up, and we kept praying. And Sunday morning, Cassius woke up starving, and they brought him a meal and he ate it, and they took all the little tubes that they had put in him all over his body in the hopes that they could somehow save him. And he's been a rambunctious little Cassius ever since, and 5 years have passed. And I am so grateful to everyone who prayed with us, and to God for saving my youngest great-grandchild. And he's a character, and he's a blessing.
Hello, my name is Tom Tarver, and we're talking about gratitude and what we're grateful for this year. And this may sound hokey, but I truly am so grateful for my family, for the life that I get to lead. There've been several things that have happened in life, that can knock you down. But I can honestly say it was my family that picked me up. And there have been other times where other members of our family have had a difficult time, and we're always there for each other without judgment. And it's just an amazing thing. We live in Louisiana, and I moved here in the year of 2000. And now, 20 years later, I'm so fortunate to have my daughter and grandson, granddaughter, and son-in-law right across the street from me. And the way that all of that fell into place is just, it's beyond what anyone could dream about. Then my partner, Roy, we now have his daughter and grandson on our land also, and his oldest daughter. And sometimes we used to joke about, hey, let's get all of our kids and come, they can all live out here on the property. And, it was like, not, But everybody got to a place of good in their lives. What could be conceived as negative and difficulties in life, they all bloomed from that. Everyone grew. And it's one, Roy's youngest daughter in particular, I call her my amazing Grace. Her name is Grace. But she has gone from, in 6 years, has gone from being at the bottom of the difficulties that were in her life to a huge rose, if that makes sense. She has blossomed. And her little son has some difficulties also. But he's 6. But they have come together, and everything's just working through, and they're becoming stronger, and I can see the goodness that is finally coming out and expressing itself in her. And that's for all of us, our whole group. So while it may sound, hokey and whatever, it's the truth. That's where my heart is. That's where my soul is. That's where I find the divinity in the nature, also in my heart, the divinity of every aspect of what life has to offer. And I feel like it overflows in my life. And I think the trick to that is truly recognizing it and appreciate it, whatever state, whatever segment of that process you're in. Find the good, because once you find that little bit of good, that little good is going to grow, and that little good is going to become the most important thing in your life. It did for me.
When Reverend Larry asked me to share a gratitude story, I had to stop and think about which one I wanted to tell. But this is the one that moves me the most. When my daughter was 20 years old, she came to me to tell me that she was unmarried and pregnant, which of course is not usually what you want to hear for your child. And she was in school and not ready to be a mom and all of that. And, and the morning that she came to tell me that she was pregnant,
that morning I had gone shopping, and I was looking for a new picture for my living room, and basically I was just looking for the right colors. And so I bought something and I put it in the car, and when I arrived home, there she was. Well, once she began to talk, I forgot all about the picture, and my thought was, where she was in life, maybe adoption might be the right choice for her. But she decided that she wanted to keep the baby. So that night, all of our family, we had a meeting, and our family was there. The young man and his family was there, and we were all talking about the way in which we could be supportive. And so after the meeting was over, I walked back out to the car with my son and daughter, and then I remembered the picture. And the picture was a picture of this huge angel holding an infant with all these cherubs. And what I realized was it was a picture of sending a child to earth. It was leaving, its soul was leaving heaven and it was coming to earth. And it was such an affirmation and such a miracle to me, that a gift was being sent. And the gift, of course, this child has been such a gift in my life because she's brought me so much joy. She's such the apple of my eye. But more than that, what happened is this child healed our family in so many ways, because I was still very angry at my ex-husband. And once she came into the picture, I realized that if I kept that anger, I was divorcing myself from many joyful occasions because I couldn't be in the same room with him. And it was an impetus to let go of that anger and truly enjoy her and enjoy my family. And I could name numerous other ways that she has healed us. But it's been such a source of gratitude on so many levels. And I'm so grateful today. She's 20 years old and has been such a blessing in every single way. And that's my gratitude story. One more thing I'd like to say about my granddaughter as a gift is that sometimes the gift comes in the most unexpected ways, that you don't see it as a gift at first. But I had a spiritual director that told me a long time ago that in every situation, look for the gift. And that picture hangs in my living room as a reminder, not only of how much I love and appreciate and am grateful for my granddaughter, but to continuously look for the gift that doesn't always look like a gift when it first comes.
I am grateful for the opportunities that I've had come my way, whether it's been a job, at home, and any other activities I've been involved with. I'm also grateful for a loving wife and family, for all the love that they have provided for me.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Wertz, and today I'm going to tell you what I am most grateful for. Of course, I'm grateful for a lot of things, but on August the 26th, I got a positive COVID test. And immediately my wonderful friends, and my friends are always at the top of my gratitude list every day, my wonderful friends went to work. First of all, my friend Sharon called Silent Unity, and they started praying for me, and they pray 24 hours a day for 30 days. Debbie called Richard Gordon, who got his pranic healers all on board, and the 7 of them worked on me 6 days a week for the 6 weeks that I was in isolation. My wonderful friend, Reverend Larrye, cooked for us, and Bob brought me food and water. I tease him and say, I'm so grateful that you brought me bread and water the whole time I was in isolation. So I isolated for 6 weeks. And although it took me 6 weeks to get over it, my symptoms were very mild. And I know that's because of the prayers and because of the healing work that was being done on me. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm grateful that after the 6 weeks, I got to see all of Bob's face, not just this. And I got to visit with my friends again. I did get to visit with Reverend Larrye one time. She sat at one end of the hall, and I sat at the opposite end of my room, and we could see each other, even though it was about 10 or 12 feet apart. But we did get to visit that way. Still, we were both in masks, so it wasn't quite like normal. But I am so grateful that because of all the people who were praying for me, all the people who were working on me, my symptoms were very mild. So when I was finally able to come out of isolation, when I was well, I am so grateful that the experience for me, although I got lonely, watched a lot of Netflix movies and read a lot of books, but I was not so severely ill as so many people are, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the people who were praying, all the people who were sending me healing energy, because that's, I know, why it was such a mild case. So I want to say how grateful I am for all the people in my life, and how joyful it is to know that I have that kind of support. So thank you all.
I am grateful that I woke up with a roof over my head and that I have clean clothes to put on. I'm grateful for this community and that you all show me love without even saying it. Thank you. I'm especially grateful to Reverend Larrye and Nancy and Bob for helping me get back on my feet, or should I say helping me get wheels back under me. Reverend Larrye and Nancy, you have gone out of your way for me, and I'm extremely grateful and appreciative for all that you've done. Thank you. Cheryl, Debbie, I'm grateful to you too for the work when I desperately needed it. I'm grateful that I can be me without judgment here in this community and family. I love you all like nobody's business.
Hi, I'm Robert Nash. I'm a member of CSL, and I want to tell my gratitude story. I've experienced a major spiritual growth since I've been going to CSL, and I'm very pleased with that. And I just wrote a poem about it, and I think I'm going to read it now. Okay. It is with the humble pride I have experienced an unusual life. The release of self-hatred and denial made the experience of becoming my true self a joy beyond expectation. In the rediscovering of my true spirituality, I experienced my wholeness in an entirely diffused perspective. And part of my rediscovering my true spirituality was partly doing CSL. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Robin by Carpenter Briscoe, and my gratitude story. I have so many. However, this story that I want to tell begins several years ago when my ex broke up with me. And I didn't know what was going to happen in my life. And then I met my future spouse, and my life changed completely. And so I am grateful for people knowing who they are and what they need in their life. Because if I had not been broken up with, I would not have the beautiful life that I have today, because I got married and I bought a house. And because of the beautiful relationship that I was able to build by being broken up with, I'm able to bring my mother with me here to Louisiana to visit my home and to meet my spouse and to enjoy the wonderful life that I have. So everything is a blessing, even things that feel like your heart is going to break. I know that there is something to be grateful for. So I am grateful for being broken up with.
Hi, I'm Debbie Barnett, and the gratitude story I want to tell you about is when I decided to move back to Baton Rouge. I was in Omaha, and I had gone up there to be with my daughter and her family and my granddaughter, and I started planning a move back here because I really miss my wonderful friends here. I really miss Louisiana. It was my adopted home. So I was making plans, and then something happened with my where I was living, and I was going to have to move at the beginning of June. And so plans changed, and I needed to move quickly. And so I wasn't ready. I hadn't gotten a job yet. I have been looking, but I hadn't gotten my license yet. I hadn't gotten a job. I hadn't arranged for where I was going to live. And because of having the moving expenses, I really didn't have a lot of money to do my move. So, moved what I could with the moving company. I packed as much as I could with inches to spare in my car, and took my wonderful dog Star, and we took off driving from Omaha, Nebraska to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I had reached out to people saying I needed a place to stay until I could find a place to rent, and I had a wonderful friend that offered for me to come and stay for a week, and we had a lovely time. And then I was looking, I thought I had a place to rent, and it just didn't seem to work out that well, and so I was sort of, things were up in the air. And an old friend of mine that lived here said that she would be happy if I came and rented an extra room in her house, which ended up being this magnificent big space that had been renovated, and it truly was amazing. I had just this huge sigh of relief that I had a place. I was just so very grateful, and I came back to so many friends, and I also had met Reverend Larry and had gone to the center when I had visited, but again, I had this wonderful spiritual home just waiting for me when I got here. And I walked in, and my old friends greeted me and hugged me, and Larry welcomed me with open arms, and I truly felt like I belonged and I was home. And I am so, so very grateful for how this worked out, when it was truly a leap of faith. And I am so glad to be part of this community. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, and thank you, all of you at CSL.
look to live the best lives we can possibly live. And it's been proven time and time again that to live with an attitude of gratitude can enlighten us and give us many, many abundant gifts. And one of my favorite life concepts is this: God has given you 86,400 seconds today. Have you used one of them to say thank you? Whoa, 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes in a day, 60 seconds in each minute, 86,400 seconds in every day. And should we give thanks for 1 second? No, many, many seconds. Living with an attitude of gratitude. And one of my favorite gratitude times is when I'm drinking or eating. When I have my first sip of coffee in the morning, my habit, my custom is to bring it up to my mouth and say, I'm going to drink this, taste this, savor this, and give thanks for this. And there are many, many times during the day that I love to give gratitude. Here's one of my favorites: when I start my car. God, thank you for the fresh start and the safe trip and all the fresh starts and the safe trips. And how about giving thanks when I'm driving? Say, oh, thank you for the green lights. Thank you for the smooth ride. Thank you for the wide, wide open streets. So many opportunities to live lovingly with an attitude of gratitude for the highest good of us and all. And so it is, so it is, so it is. Let's go for it, brothers and sisters, living with a sincere and truly, truly sincere attitude of gratitude. Yay, yay, yay. Go for it.
Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer you said in your entire life was thank you, that would suffice. So I'm curious about your thank you prayer and what your gratitude story might be. Think about it and share it with somebody so that you can demonstrate that feeling of having a grateful heart. Who might you be right now if you lived every day with a grateful heart? If each evening you express gratitude for something that took place during the day. Ernest Holmes wrote these words in the mid-20th century. In everything give thanks. An attitude of gratitude is most salutary and bespeaks the realization that we are now in heaven. How we love to do those for those who cooperate with and are grateful for our small endeavors. Gratitude is one of the chief graces of human experience. And this week, Nick Orso said, you know, it's Thanksgiving, which means somebody is receiving. So I also recommend that you do a thanks receiving and receive the gratitude from other people. Consider the feelings that you had today as you watched and listened to these gratitude stories. Realize that you can create a new vibration of a grateful heart merely by bringing forth gratitude into your life. Imagine that. Are you willing to do it? Challenge yourself this week to focus on living with a grateful heart. Challenge yourself to place your attention and become aware of the many small gifts that you receive every day. And allow yourself time to pause and really receive and feel the gratitude. Check in with yourself every evening and just see how you did. Remember, you're the only one who can feel gratitude for all that occurs in your life. The only one who can create a grateful heart within you. No one else can do that for you. So what's the one choice you can make today? To feel gratitude for all that occurs in your life. Let's pray. Just taking a deep, nourishing breath, remembering something from Thanksgiving Day that you felt grateful for, and knowing that that was the divine showing up in that person. The love, the joy, the laughter. and knowing that all that God is lives right within us. So what I know to be the truth is that each of us are living with a grateful heart, that we are finding things every day to be grateful for. And we're reminding ourselves to carry that grateful heart with us. I am so grateful to know that the God without is the God within each of us, and that gratitude can start and just overflow from us towards other people and towards the things in our lives. And it's from that deep sense of gratitude that I release these words into the law of mind, spirit, and action, knowing the truth that the divine has already called all of this good, so I can just say amen, and we can affirm it together, and so it is.